Yo, 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 I'm Micah Chapman, the president of the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga Young Professionals, and you're tuning into the Urban Voice Podcast. Check me out.
What's up, beautiful people? I am your host, Empress D, with the Urban League Young Professionals of Greater Chattanooga, and I am in here with our president. It's only right for our first episode in this new year to be our president, Micah Chapman. How you feeling today? Welcome in.
Feeling great, feeling good. I'm excited to be here, of course, with the first episode of the new year, so thank you for having me in mind.
Did you get any rest this holiday season?
Somewhat. I would say my rest was really spending time with family, more or less than actual doing nothing.
Right.
But it was catching up with that quality time of really being with my daughters, of course, attending to my spouse, of course, but also just family out there hadn't seen over throughout the year. Even though we're all here in Chattanooga, it's like we have busy lives. So catching up with them, seeing what they were doing, stopping by their houses was pretty heartfelt, warming, and for me, reflective but recuperating as well.
Yeah, and that's real. Chattanooga is nothing but that small, but when everybody has their own personal lives and ventures going on, sometimes it does get challenging trying to get everybody together. That's the thing. Like sometimes I run into my people, but getting us all together in the house is kind of rare. I want to see that happen a little more.
And I feel like on my schedule, the way it's tied up with everything that I do, when the family does gather, I'm always busy. So it's like I miss those gatherings. So they do gather and we do have family functions, birthdays, holidays, but I'm the busy one. So it's like I never do get to pour my heart into them. So on the back end, I try to come and see everyone individually since I don't get to see everyone collectively. So that's what my end of the year usually entails, is spending time with family, catching up, to see friends as well. I have a lot of close friends that we have separate lives. So it's like, hey, let me catch up with the guys, see what they're doing, see how my godsons and goddaughters are doing, things like that. So
a lot of people are kind of, they always talk about new year, new me. How do you feel about that? Is this a new year, new me type of season or new year, better me? What's this year bringing for you?
So for me, the new year has always been, professionally anyways, there's always been a kickoff starter to what I'm going to do in my professional life versus what I'm going to do in my personal life. Personal life, I usually look at my birthdays for that. So how everybody's amped up about New Year resolutions and everything, I'm kind of like that when my birthday mark comes around, which is in July, July 18th.
Don't forget.
Shameless plug. July 18th. Every year, that's when I start. They really have those. What do I need to cut off now that I'm this age? What do I need to do now that I'm this age? How's my health handling everything? So I think a lot of people go, as the calendar goes, my calendar starts with my birthday.
As it should.
Personally.
Like, I'm really big about that. Oh, yes, I made another cycle around the sun. Like, wow, I've spent 365 trying new things, developing myself. And like you said, now that I'm back to April 28th, don't forget it. Now I'm back to April. It's like, okay, now what am I going to rededicate my personal passions and drive towards?
Yes.
With that in mind, and you might have a few shifts, but with the new year in, like what's a mindset shift that you might be journeying through on this 2026, or what's a mindset shift you encourage young professionals to journey on, and what we need most right now?
Resilience is like real key to my core right now. Is really being resilient right now in my profession, board service, community service, being a leader in the community. This year, or past year rather, was like very uncertain in many areas. Looking at the political climate, looking at just a lot of things that were very promising, but then given the political climate was very uncertain at certain points of the last year. And I think that really just created a resilient effort in me to figure it out. If folks are hungry, how do we provide food? If folks need therapy, how do we provide the introduction to mental health? If folks need digital equity, how do we provide the space where they can learn the digital education that they need? So for me, it was really being resilient in the climates of that we couldn't control 2025. So I think every professional, personally, spiritually, physically, you should really create a resilient bone in your body so you can really weather the storm.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know what's coming ahead, just as of this month. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's make sure we are resilient, but also in our resilience, being very strategic as well. I know a lot of time emotion rises, but we definitely want to make sure that we are keeping that emotion in check and that we're thinking very thoughtful before we act or react to things. So definitely strategic resilience would be the mindset that I have right now.
Yeah, I can follow along just with that. I'm on the strategic path as well. I think mine differs a little bit from resiliency to intentionality because like you, I am a part of so many groups.
Yeah.
I'm on a couple different boards.
Yeah.
And last year, I got Cat Williams said it was going to be the year of the truth. We got a lot of truth.
we got some truth.
So this year, I think that we are kind of leaping bounds and kind of breaking through some barriers.
Okay.
But I want to not only be resilient, but I want to be intentional so I'm not just like working myself and burning myself out, you know?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I was in that space to where I wanted to find the intentionality, the authenticity of what's my purpose, because I understand that I'm capable of a lot of things that, you know, both of us, we can sit in any room at any table, or we can speak to the CEO, to the janitor, all of those things. But when I show up, how effective is it?
Yeah.
And if I'm not there in that room, how effective is it as well? So that brings back to intentionality. About 2 years ago, when I figured out, okay, I don't have to be in every room. I only need to be in the rooms that I'm effective in. So I understand you wholeheartedly when it comes to that.
And I can attest to that because you've been a part of the Urban League Young Professionals for how many years?
Going on 4 years.
4 years. Okay, I knew it was at least 2 because this is my 2.5 year. But this is your first year sitting in the presidential seat.
Yes.
What has that journey been like, or how has the experience been? And was there a moment that you realized that you were presidential material? Like, was that a part of your intentionality 2 years ago?
So it was not. Being the president of the Urban League, Greater Chattanooga Young Professionals, was not anywhere in my short list, long list, bucket list. But as time progressed and just seeing the direction that the Urban League Young Professionals wanted to go, also seeing that what my level of commitment was with the Urban League as well, and also seeing the camaraderie behind me becoming president one day, it was just fitting for the moment. Definitely had a lot of support along the way. Our past president, Roland McIntyre, supported me throughout this transition. Our past officers as well supported me throughout this transition. So it's a big shout out and huge shout out to them, because I think without their support, pushing me to like, hey, we need somebody to take the chair. I'm gonna take the president role, and you are completely capable of doing it, and we need you to step up. So with them just having that, you know, support and just really seeing like, you know, you're capable of doing it. Not saying that I didn't think I was capable of doing it, but just having them pushing me toward like, we need you in that seat, we need you in that seat, was really, really instrumental in why I'm in that seat. But once I was elected, the first thing that I noticed, just from the transition, being at the Urban League, with the Urban League Young Professionals for the duration that I've been here, that this board that's current now is very instrumental in my presidency, in the fact that you all show up and show out. You know what I mean? Like, I can delegate a task and it's executed. You know what I mean? So in the past, we didn't really have that luxury, and it was mainly because of the buy-in when it comes to, again, busy schedule lives, people trying to identify what a young professional is, if they fit the bill for this chair or whatever the case may be. But I think this group here has really made my presidency a lot easier than looking at our past president and the things that he had to endure and really try to work out. But he laid a great foundation for me to just, you know, come in and bring you all together, rally you up, and you all support me in every capacity you all can support me. So I think that's really been the joy in being the president, just seeing you all thrive as leaders as well, alongside me being your leader. But really just seeing things, the trajectory of things go upscale versus it going stagnant, or anybody's waiting on El Presidente, or what should we do now? And it's like, okay, you know, for an example, the last workshop that we had together, you all just owned it. You know what I mean? I was late due to my daughter's basketball game, but just to see how you all owned that, I think every president across the country that's an Urban League Young Professional president would have loved to have been in that moment as a president, because it's a lot in leadership where people need the leader to be present or need the leaders to sign off on things so it can get done, but you all like really take the ball, run with it, and win the game every time. So kudos to the entire board. I know you all are listening. Urban League Young Professionals of Greater Chattanooga. I appreciate everything you all do. Makes my job a lot easier. And I get to represent you all on the regional and national level and pay more attention to that than what we're actually doing here locally. You all really pretty much just taking and run with it. So
and
I appreciate
you're right. We do got some heavy hitters on our team, and we're in all different type of industries and spaces: mental wellness, education. We got media, engineers,
everything,
estate,
musicians,
real estate. So we really got a team full of heavy hitters. A few months ago, maybe a month or so ago, we had Dr. Reginald Smith on here, which is the
infamous Dr. Reggie Smith.
Okay. That is our Urban League CEO, and we talked about where he sees the greater affiliate going in this new season, because he's our new CEO. So as our new president, what's some visions that you have for YP? What are you hoping to see from us? And let us know what you're hoping to see so we can make it happen.
So one thing that's like huge on my agenda is growing our membership base. Really want to see us thrive as a robust membership model, to where we don't just have a lot of members on roster, but they're actively participating in the Urban League initiatives, but also that they're leading with their voice as well. Because I do believe that we're stronger in numbers. So it's easy for us as a board or as a small group to go down to a city hall or try to meet with the mayor or anyone like that. But when we actually have 100 people signed off, or 200 people signed off to actually say, we want to see this in our community, or hey, we have questions about this in our community, I think it garners a lot more attention than just the small groups. Not saying that we're not effective in a small group. We are laying the foundation. We are creating those spaces and laying it brick by brick. However, I think once we grow that membership model, it will be a stronger voice, a louder voice, because then once we have that unified message, you can hear it 200 times in one day if our membership is 200. So it's like, in whatever rooms those 200 individuals go into, we all carrying the same message. So I look at it as more of a collective effort than just a roster sheet full of names and things of that nature to say we have 200 members. But I really want to see us leading a community 200 times versus us just being on a roster. So that's my number one goal. Another thing that I would love for us to do is really establish a working relationship with the professionals that are tapping into becoming a young professional, which is our collegiate group or high school group, if you will. Really would love to see us grow that mentorship model there, but also that networking model too, fostering their leadership skills so that they can know what opportunities will lie ahead. Because I think a lot of times when you're in that phase of early professional, that early professional stage, collegiate or high school, you're thinking about what you want to do when you reach our age. You're thinking about like, how do I get to the point where I'm the business owner before 30 or whatever the case may be. And I think that we have a wealth of knowledge, especially with the group that we're building the foundation with, to where we could really instill some principles and guidance within that high school to collegiate age range, to where they can really learn the business development side of things. Because I think a lot of time in high school and college, we're perfecting our craft, whether that's journalism, whether that's becoming a doctor, whatever the case may be. But on the tail end of that, once we graduate, it's like, what's next? How do we go and if I became a welder or got a welding certification in high school through a Future Ready Institute, how do I become a small business owner at 18 after I
Right.
graduate. And I think that's kind of like the lost art there, is how do people go in business for themselves, or how do they become an intern for another company that can kind of get them that experience,
Yeah.
so they can know, do I need to go in business for myself, or do I
Right.
need to really, get some experience working for someone else
Yeah.
before I go into business for myself. But I think it's really just us being able to be that ecosystem for the young professionals, with the early professionals that are becoming young professionals, and also the high schoolers as well that's tapping into that collegiate group. So that's like the biggest goals on my list, is really growing our membership, but then also how are we reaching back?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. And I'm glad that you mentioned success looking a little different depending on who you are. It might be owning your own business, but it very well could be starting as an intern and working your way through a company, or working way up a company to be an impactful leader for one company or two companies should you choose to transition. And so we talked about how diverse our leadership board is. What can you say to, because we also mentioned like fitting the bill. Like when you think of a young professional, what is a young professional? Sometimes I feel like professional groups get a siloed stigma of being, differently categorized than people in the city that's really handling business. What would you say a young professional is? What's your
I think
definition?
you just hit it when you said the people in the city that are really handling business. That's between ages 21 and 40.
There we go.
That's a young professional for me, or a professional, just a person that's handling business. So therefore, if you are a musician, somewhere down the line you have to book gigs, or you have to have some type of business savviness about yourself to make money.
Yeah.
That's like the only way. Then on the other side, to talk about business development again, once you make that money, collect those dollars, collect that interest from fans, or maybe you've connected with an artist who has a huge fan base, but they're paying you to be their musician.
Yeah.
However it works for the musician, they still have to learn the business development side thing, because taxes is still a thing. You know what I mean? So for me, the professional is the person that's handling the business. How do we help that professional save money on their taxes? How do we help that whether they, again, a musician, or they're still a person that's a janitor? Because even though you're a janitor, or you may be a crew worker somewhere at a fast food restaurant, or
nail tech,
whatever you're doing, we can scale that to where you're hiring other folks to do what you were doing.
There we go.
So I think the professional side of it is teaching folks how to handle the business, but they also have to have the commitment and buy-in to want to handle business as well.
Yeah.
So that's what deems a professional. Anyone that's willing to handle the business side of things. We can do a lot of things as a hobby.
Yeah.
I know there's some great shower singers out there that we would love to have on an album, or streaming somewhere, but they realize it's not their passion or commitment. They have the voice and the talent for it, but they're not willing to get out there on Front Street and be the Beyonce for everyone. So I think it's like recognizing people's talents, but also if they're willing to go in business with that talent, that's what deems them a professional.
Okay. I know the episode is getting good, but it's your girl Empress D here, and I have to remind y'all about our Join Week coming up with the young professionals of the Urban League the 2nd and 3rd weeks of February. That's the 8th through the 21st. Go ahead and mark your calendars, because our committee chairs will be throwing lots of events that will be focusing on our professional development, personal development. We'll have some socials thrown in there. And of course, we will be focusing on voter registration during this important voter year. Come out, come fellowship with us. I can't wait to see all of our YP members, and I hope some of y'all decide to join in at that time. So I'll let you get tuned back into this episode, and I know I'll see you there.
What's the ultimate goal? Not necessarily the end goal, but the ultimate goal.
Ultimate goal. So what's one professional habit or skill you've seen that like makes the biggest difference for people trying to level up in their careers? Maybe some that you have, but what's one that you've seen?
One thing that I have noticed is mainly finding a mentor or a network to tap into. So usually if you show up and be present, you'll find someone in the room that's kind of will guide you to another door that may open. Or if you seek out mentorship, usually that mentor can put you on a pathway of where you need to be in your rightful space.
Yeah.
Depending on what industry you're looking to, tap into or what your profession may be from a career standpoint. And mainly because everything now is relational.
Facts.
Relationships are the new currency.
Yeah.
So if you can find a network or a mentor, that's a relationship. You know what I mean? So really leverage those relationships. And with that, I think folks just really need to start being more present in spaces when they see events, especially if they're a free event. I mean, what do you got to lose? You know what I mean? Go to those free events, tap in. It's a shameless plug, but BPath is one of those free events that even our urban young professionals, isn't mandatory, but we definitely try to have our membership base there and also have a voice in what takes place in BPath. But spaces like BPath, spaces like our general body meetings, whether if it's themed towards civic engagement, professional development, or economic empowerment, those free spaces, if you're a person that's in the art community, Arts Bill has a lot of different free spaces. So it's like, show up to those rooms intentional again. Because if you're showing up intentional to find a network or a mentor, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be put on the right pathway to go where you want to go.
Yeah.
So that's the things that I've seen professionals use to scale up the ladder.
But YP is the first network I joined when I got back to Chattanooga.
Wow.
I was gone for 10 years, so I came back a whole new person.
Yeah.
I was like...
Chattanooga was a whole new city.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all don't know me, and I don't know this city, I felt like. Like, dang, there's so many new people, so many new leaders, and for one point, I was like, I feel lost. Like, I felt like I wanted to be a hermit, but somebody who knew me from before I left, they were like, it started with me showing up and being present and talking about the things that I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, ooh, you should be in YP. Like, you should be a part of the Urban League network. And every time I go to an event, and that's one perk that you get with being in YP, like just different exclusive events going around the city that you might not hear about. But I go there, I talk, somebody's like, ooh, let me connect you to this person. Oh, you need to know this person. And my clientele with my agency has actually grown within Chattanooga.
Yeah. Come intentional. So they show up to the YP spaces or the base camp space, which is another shameless plug for the Enterprise Center. We put together co-working space, base camp, quarterly. Stay tuned this year. However, those free spaces are places to where transplants thrive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I hear a lot of locals and natives that I'm in conversation with or connected to, they always say this city ran by people that aren't from Chattanooga or, things of that nature. And it's mainly because those people come to Chattanooga intentionally looking for spaces to grow. And like you came back 10 years, seen YP, showed up. So again, being present in the moment, showing up, speaking up, being intentional, knowing what your purpose is in the room and how effective you could be will be the thing that take you to the next level.
Yeah, now, when I first joined YP, I was a active member, and you were in the civic engagement and advocacy chair, which, ta-da, now it's me.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite events that you had a hand in, and what can you say to like the importance of civic engagement and advocating for not even just for civic life, but for yourself?
The civic engagement and advocacy chair was a very intentional position for me. When I first came to the Urban League Young Professionals, that seat was vacant, and it was vacant for quite some time. I think the last person held it was someone that timed out of YP, and no one else ever picked it up. However, when I sparked interest in it, everyone was like, eyes buck, like, you want that? And everything. And me not knowing that was the bread and butter of what YP does, what the Urban League does. Like, we're very civic minded. We're very huge on what we advocate for, whether it's education or any disparity that we may notice. Once I got into that seat, it was really a huge transition in what the momentum of YP had at the time.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was showing up to the socials and the meetings, but still looking for what is it that, YP does and everything. But once I got civic engaged, at the time we had someone that was working at the Urban League, Sarah, and she was like very instrumental in everything civic engagement at the Urban League at the time. So just learning from her what the Urban League needed. She went to law school shortly after I became chair, and pretty much the civic engagement work was just on my desk for the Urban League. And in that, I just wanted to get real creative again. Huge about building rooms with connectivity inside those rooms, whether if it's 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. So my thing was, how do we get first the word out that you need to register to vote?
Yeah.
And then at that time we were in an election season, how do we remind people that you need to go vote for the local elections as well as the national elections? Or I think it was vice versa. I think we were in the national elections, and right after that with voter fatigue, we were really worried about people not voting in local elections.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we held a Beats a Ballot postcard party. Phenomenal event, held it at the Urban League. Was able to tap into UTC for the first time in a civic engagement space. So we brought some students over to really participate in signing the postcards, which we'll definitely do one of these, hopefully coming up here shortly for Joint Week. Hopefully we can bring that back, because we're in another election season, right?
My notes,
we're in another election season, so I think it's due for another Beats and Ballots.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that postcard party, we held 2 of them in 2 separate elections. Another event that I really, really loved was partnering with Civic Tennessee, which is our statewide civic engagement or advocacy table.
Yeah.
And Civic Tennessee does a lot of work across the state of Tennessee when it comes to nonpartisanship and getting out the voter registration efforts. However, we partnered with them and held a Chattanooga hub for the national election, but we have the Chattanooga election hub at the Urban League headquarters, to where every, I would say, person that was registered to vote, we made an effort to reach that person to let them know, hey, it's time to vote.
Yeah.
Did you remember to go vote? And it was on election day. So it was literally election day hub. We had phone banking, text banking.
Yeah.
We even did more postcards. You know, I mean, they had to go out locally and everything. So it was like a huge all-day experience. My first election day hub, we did do that again after that event, but the first one was just like, wow to me, because it was my first experience. Then to also see how many people came throughout the day, just to really make a phone call, send some text messages, whatever we may need, or even going to the actual election precincts to make sure people knew what to do if they were redistricting to another precinct or whatever the case may be. And one more event that I just cannot fail to mention, which we do annually every year. This is not really civic engagement, but I've kind of tied into civic engagement from my personal standpoint. But it's with the Project Ready students at the Urban League. Every year we go on the Day of the Hill, which we make appointments with our state legislators, representatives, and Congress people as well. And in those meetings, our Project Ready mentees really get to not necessarily lobby, but share their feelings about certain bills that's on the floor, or certain bills that's probably went through one part, but still waiting on the Senate to vote on it, but it's went through the House already. So they're able to give their thoughts, mainly about the education bills that are being passed through. Sometimes it's about some stuff that just happened in Tennessee that they probably have noticed on their radar, and they say, hey, can we say something about this? And we come together with a presentation for that. But it's very, very, I think, instrumental in, again, reaching back to those high school students who are juniors and seniors in that Project Ready group, but they're looking to become part of the collegiate group. So it's like they get to really have that experience of meeting a representative, but also, or a senator, but they also have the knowledge of how to conduct themselves when they want to demand something from the same person that's a senator or a representative, or even one day maybe want to run for office themselves. That's like civic engagement and advocacy. I think those 3 events are like really key and instrumental to what we do at the Urban League. And I would love, under your leadership now, to continue those efforts.
Take my
which
notes,
you are a
take my
Project
notes.
Ready mentor already, so it's not too far-fetched.
If you want to be on the committee for civic engagement and advocacy,
Yes.
please hit me up. You can DM me on my personal Instagram. You can email me. I have a YP email, destiny.ulgcyp at Gmail.
You can comment on this video.
You can comment on this video. Like, however you feel comfortable reaching out, reach out. And we have other committee chairs, but I'm just doing my own shameless plug.
But we are in election season, so
Yes.
the voter registration efforts to get out the vote, we do want to see the local turnout to be higher than it was previous election. And yeah, this previous election cycle, voter turnout was completely lower than what anyone expected, I think.
Yeah.
So I think the work that we do helps that number rise. So again, civic engagement, advocacy committee, Madam Chair. So with that being said, I think it's just on us, like groups like the Urban League who really practice non-partisanship, groups like Caleb, Civic for Tennessee. It's on us to continue communicating the messages about that it's time to vote, but also digging deeper. And I hope I'm not overstepping here, but I want to say the Urban League this time around is creating a election manual, nonpartisan election manual for this election. Dr. Reggie, you can you can pull me in the principal office later if I'm wrong on that.
Right.
But if not, then I guess I just gave YP something to do.
I know it can get a little frustrating, and there's so many levels and tiers to where not only can it get frustrating, it can be a little confusing.
Yes.
But what's one, maybe you got two, but what's a practical step for somebody to become more involved or just in the know about civic engagement?
So one practical step, of course, plug into the Urban League Young Professional Civic Engagement and Advocacy Committee. That's one place to start. Another place that I would start is just really researching. Right now we're in the digital age. You know what I mean? If that's going to be Google for you, let it be Google, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever the case may be. But you can literally go and research this information if you have an interest in it. Because, you know, we scroll on this phone all day long, Instagram, Reels, TikToks, and all of that. But it has to be a place for where if we are skeptical about something, we have to go find out about it. So I would say research is a huge component of it, because the more you go down the rabbit hole of learning these things, the more knowledge you have of the climate that we're in. And that's, again, speaking for anyone that's into politics, whether it's nonpartisanship or partisanship. I think that the more you research and learn about what you're passionate about or interested in or skeptical about, curious about, the more you learn about it, the more you're able to not necessarily defend it, but you understand it.
Understanding it is key. Yeah, and I've started kind of training my algorithms a little bit. Because we are on our phones often. Yeah. And I ain't gonna tell you what my hours look like. but since my hours do look unmentionable, redacted, I've started training my algorithms to keep me updated. I actually went through all of my followers on Instagram, and like it wasn't anything personally that I was, trying to reject or get out the way, but I was trying to tailor what I wanted to pour into my mind and feed my mental.
Yes. I've done the same thing. And it is training the algorithm, so it's a thing now to where I would press not interested on something. I would literally click the three dots at the top and look for not interested.
Oh, that's good.
So it does not pop up or anything like it or whatever. And then things that I do find interesting, I do the same thing, interest, so I can get suggested more of that content. But yeah, I think that goes back, I know it's probably shifting the conversation, but that goes into really knowing what your triggers are. No, that's like a mental health space type topic, but there are things on the internet that just come across my timeline, and then I'll be ready to put some in the comments, and I have to realize, let me delete this.
It has to be in bots anyways. I'm probably talking to myself or somebody across
let me delete this thing. So it's like, I don't want to be looking like I'm arguing, like you said, with myself or with a stranger or anything. So, but it will like trigger you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're passionate about a topic, or if you see just blatantly disrespect or something. You know, you're like, I want to defend, I want to help out.
Yeah.
But being in the space of knowing that it's not good for my mental, that I need to not be interested in it altogether, is one thing that I think more people need to recognize. Like, what triggers me to not be the best me?
Yeah. Ooh.
And I know that shifted the whole conversation.
No, that's real. That's real. Like, what triggers me to not be the best version of myself? Yeah. And I actually had to reckon with that at some point of my scrolling. And one thing I've learned being in this chair, being a leader in different spaces is, my goal is not to change people's minds per se, because you are who you are, you're gonna be who you are. And a lot of that comes from your background and who you were raised from.
Yep.
But what I can do is pique your curiosity.
Yes.
What I can do is pique how you see yourself. Yeah, how you process the joint common ground or the joint solution, or how can I help you broaden your identity?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of my personal missions, is help people reach their full potential. You know what I mean? So how do we do that? Because, a lot of people walk around with baggage.
Yeah.
We just held a conference with the Brave Effect, another board that I serve on, and it was called Unshackled Mindset Presents Unpacking the Backpack. And it was really like everything that's weighing us down with this backpack. Like, I know we know about the Erykah Badu song, Bag Lady and everything, but it's so many layers.
Miss your bus.
So many layers to that we really need to realize, what are we holding on to? And once we look at what we're holding on to, there's a lot of root causes that we realize that are triggers that we just really hadn't addressed, or we hadn't overcame.
Yes.
So it's like any little thing can make us a ticking time bomb. So that's just really where I look at the trajectory of being in control of self.
Yeah.
Like, how do I control myself? Because I can only control how I react to the comment on Facebook or whatever the case may be. I can't control the comment, but I can control my reaction to it. So, and I think that's the headspace that professionals, need to be aware of. Because again, we're going to handle business. That's what deems us as a professional. That means we also need to know how to conduct ourselves in handling business. So,
with that in mind, like all of this, because we have a lot of momentum and movement. That's really why I brought it up, because
it's fitting.
Yeah, it is very fitting. Like, we are on the go.
Yeah.
What's one area where you think young professionals are being called to move boldly this year?
Wow. One area that they need to move boldly.
Yeah.
Other than going to vote, other than that, because we have spent a lot of time on politics, voting, and election cycles. Other than that, I would say that they should move boldly in wherever they're, I don't want to say that because I sound preachery then, wherever's on the inside of them burning to come out. If I was in the pulpit, I'd say, whatever you're pregnant with. But I'm not going to say that. The seed within you. But that's truly what it is.
Yeah.
I think that they need to move boldly on watering that seed within them so that the increase can be provided. So I know a lot of times we have an idea. I want to write a book.
Yeah.
I want to go back to school.
Yeah.
I want to go do this and that. And it's like, move on it. Move boldly. It's a reason why you have the yearning or the urge to want to do this. It is because it's a part of your DNA. It's a part of your makeup.
Yeah.
No one came to you saying, hey, you should write a book. You literally are talking to yourself about writing a book.
Yeah, and if someone did come and say, you need to write a book, that means
confirmation.
That means you have been showing up in a way that makes someone believe that your book would be even good enough to read or write.
Or they see something in you that they want to learn from you. And they feel like it should go in the book because I can get it that way.
Yeah.
Versus asking you questions that probably not going to give me the answer that I truly need because I'm holding back on what I need from you.
Yeah.
So I think that if you want to start a business, go ahead. You never know who's the next millionaire waiting to happen. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, you have that idea, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I think that people should move boldly on what's ever on the inside of them, whatever is passionately wanting to come out, and you're really like on the fence about it. Stop being on the fence. move boldly.
Yeah. And
it's the year of the horse.
It's the year of the horse. Let's go.
You got to move on it.
And it's really important when you are moving, because sometimes those steps can be a little scary and they might not feel as stable as where you were already standing. You already built that, like stepping into that. And I think that's where networks like Young Professionals become significant in feeling confident in taking those steps.
Yeah, because even with us supporting you, we also provide training ground. So it's like if maybe you have a workshop that you want to test the grounds with before you add it to your consultation portfolio. And it's like, we're Young Professionals, the perfect thing. We got a general body meeting or whatever committee meeting that we can come up with where you can run through the trial and error of what you need to do. Same way if you're thinking about, being a secretary for a company or admin assistant for some huge CEO, join the Urban League. I'm sure Ed would love to delegate some tasks to you as secretary. Not saying that he want to give anybody his work or anything, but I'm sure he would love to train someone and learning what he knows as secretary, as he's been trained by a previous secretary.
Yeah.
But it's like the gift that keeps giving when you tap into the networks. Because once you join this network, you're able to bring somebody else in or introduce someone else to the network. And then even if you don't bring them in, the person that's seeking the network themselves, you're available to help that person that shows up as well. So the network is huge. Again, finding that mentor, that person, because if they've already been through the fire, it's no sense of you burning yourself when they can tell you that
and that's that wisdom right there. Like, you don't have to experience every lesson. You can gain wisdom from someone who's already been through it. So you ain't got to burn on that fire.
That's why I feel like even right now in this time, it's so fitting for us as young professionals having a young leader at the Urban League as well, because we're able to pick the brain of someone that's in the C-suite. So if we have those aspirations to become CEOs or company owners, business owners at a C-suite level, we have somebody we can literally directly walk into the office and meet with. And we could talk Urban League, we could talk Young Professionals, but we have a true young professional with a PhD that we can tap into.
Two-time CEO.
Two-time CEO. So it's like we definitely can get that wealth of knowledge to know where we're going, what we're about to get into, what steps we need to take to get to where we want to go.
I cannot stress that enough. The guidance that allows you to actually take shortcuts around the barriers rather than you having to bust through a brick wall. I'm not saying it's impossible to break through barriers.
We have some trailblazers.
Why break through a brick wall when somebody's like, hey, did you see they just built a new sidewalk?
Or they could have just like, I had a key, right?
There's a door right next to the wall, and I have the key.
Like that's the thing that I think showing up really helps us. Again, being the year of the horse, having that momentum and motion. I believe everyone who's a part, even of the Urban League Young Professionals now, showed up in their rightful way. And that's why they are active. That's why they're more, I would say, a leader in the community because they have the intentionality to want to do the work. Again, a quote that always stuck with me, the only reason why it's getting done is because you're doing it. That's the quote that forever stick with me. So I feel like a lot of things in leadership, it's only getting done because someone's doing it.
Because someone's doing it. Yeah, we talked about that on one of our previous podcasts too. Like, I had a direct download and I'm going to keep that with me for life. And it was just like, before things can even get done, you do have to do it.
Do it.
Like, that is the prerequisite.
That's the prerequisite.
To something getting done is either you doing it or you supporting someone who's doing it.
And I think a lot of times too, what happens with people who doesn't do it or who doesn't, I could say, finish doing it is because they want it faster than how it's coming. Usually we don't realize what now truly means or whatever. Another preacher moment. I hate.
No, that's real.
Preaching, y'all.
That's
but
real.
Now is actually like a forever moment. You know what I mean? Now you're gonna always have now. There's not gonna ever be a time in history where now doesn't exist. And I think that's where people have to realize that if something's on the inside of you, if it's something you want to do, anything that, you want to see your family into, you want to see yourself connected to, you have to act on it now. because it's not saying it's too late when you do it, but now it's still gonna be the time when you do it.
Yep.
So it's like, why not just go ahead and do it now, versus being a later now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really one thing that I want leaders to really focus on. Like, don't get lost in it not coming fast enough. Don't get lost in can't find a mentor. I've been going to this place, that place. I don't find the right network. It's gonna take a few networks or events to find your tribe. You know what I mean? Urban League Young Professionals, we have a open door policy. We welcome everyone in. You can volunteer on the first day.
Yeah.
However, every circle may not be like that before you get to an Urban League circle. So it will be trying times to where you may go to this place, this event, that event, and you're not, getting any luck on getting to that next step on where you want to go. But I wouldn't give up.
Yeah,
if I was someone, I would definitely continue going along. Also, look at people who are already in position where you want to be at.
Okay.
They don't have to be necessarily a mentor, but they are a pretty good guide of where you need to be at least. Because if this person is always in this room and they're doing what you always wanted to do, maybe I need to start following them, even though I don't got them as a mentor or don't want them in my personal network, but they're doing what I want to do. So I need to follow some of their actions, some of their behaviors, so I can get the same benefits that they're receiving. And just a lot of our young professionals get lost in, I think, the now moment.
Yeah.
Because they want it now, but they don't realize that it takes work now.
It literally takes work now. Yeah. Every point of history was a now. Like you said, it was a now at that point. And then I think sometimes we just have to remember that it's not going to get done all overnight, but it's those little baby steps. It's that every time you wake up and you do it again, you are literally one day closer to the dream or the aspiration of what you foresee yourself becoming.
Yeah, I believe every small effort that's truly intentional leads to a large outcome. It's just take that one grain of a mustard seed.
Yeah, no, this is real stuff. This is real.
For the growth, you know what I mean? So, but it really is something that's, even with us young professionals, I mean, you all can attest to how we started, me stepping into this role with just a board.
Yeah.
No members or anything. The members were the board.
Yeah.
But actually growing it into a membership base, actually gaining some momentum and really seeing how that small group as a board has done what we've done in just a matter of months.
Yeah.
So it's always that small group effort, that remnant that's going to really take the trajectory to the next level. But again, I don't want folks to get caught up in it's not happening now. So this, even with, as you know, I'm still in school working on my doctorate degree, and I'm looking at a lot of people who are pursuing the same path about to give up because they want it to happen now. They're ready to get to dissertation now, and it's like, we got steps to that. We got 8 more courses before we can get a committee chair on our dissertation. So it's like people ready to give up because life is coming at you fast. The climate of the environment and society is coming at you fast, and then just the overall personal aspirations not happening for you.
Yeah.
So I get the concern of wanting to give up, but as you asked me in the beginning, earlier rather, what was something that would help young professionals? Resilience.
Yes.
Resilient. You have to be resilient.
You got to.
Because that's what's going to get you to the next now moment.
And it really does help when you have a plan that you can see different milestones. And to our listeners, we hear that faith of a mustard seed all the time, but if you have not ever looked at the comparison of a literal mustard seed and then a mustard tree, like a mustard seed tree, it's actually unimaginable to think that something that grandiose came from something so itty bitty. Anything you want to share, anything else you want to share with our good, beautiful people in the Chattanooga area, surrounding nationally too, actually?
Yes. Shout out to everyone in Chattanooga, in Hamilton County, and in Tennessee. I am a native, so I want to give one time to the home team. But if you are the ages 21 to 40, this is your opportunity to join us with the young professionals at the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga. We'd love to have you on board. There's a lot of excitement and momentum building up right now. Just plug in, play wherever you feel comfortable. We're looking forward to see you.
You heard the man, folks. Plug in. And that is a wrap for our episode. Thank you so much, Micah, for being in the studio with us today.
Bless you.
And yeah, we're going to get this work in this year.
Oh, yeah.
YP all the way.
YP all the way.
All the way. All right, folks. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did enjoy this episode, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, comment, shout us out. You can do that right here under this video, or you can follow us on Instagram at ULChat_YP. Shoot us a DM. Let us know who else you want to see on the Urban Voice podcast. Until next time, I am your host, Empress D. See y'all later. Peace.